everyone, Luke here and welcome back to the channel. So I stumbled across a bit of a problem when I was trying to attach this drawer mechanism onto this. So I did the standard usual of placing it on, making a mark and drilling it out. But when it came to attaching the actual drawer, it turns out my hole was off by quite a bit. And as you can see, I absolutely had to ruin it with a file just so it can fit. So there's something you can do to make sure your marks are going to line up every single time, and when you drill it out, it's just going to fit perfectly. So let's get into it. So this is actually really easy to do, and you're only going to need about 3 things. Whatever you're trying to mark out, for me it will be a sliding drawer mechanism. You're going to need a hammer or a mallet. And then you're going to need a piece of card, and I just cut this out of a cardboard box because I know everyone has cardboard boxes floating about. And that's pretty much all you're going to need. So you want to get all your bits and bobs together, and I've marked this out left to right, and that's because what I'm attaching it to, it has to go on a certain way. So I've marked out left to right on this, so once I've made the marks, I know which way it goes on. Right, so let's get into it. What you want to do is get your cardboard, make sure it's lined up to the point where you want it. Got to make sure it's right, and what I'm going to do is mark this out as well, left to right, and then I'm just going to figure out where that is, draw 2 lines down so it looks a bit like that. So I know it's somewhat marked up, lay it flat, and then just give it a whack with your hammer. And what you're left with is 2 indents perfectly in line with each other. So now you can either cut these out using a blade, you just got to be really careful doing this and make sure you're accurate, or I have these floating about and these are punches, and with this I could just line it up with the hole, give it a hit, and that takes it out perfectly. And we'll do the other one, make sure it's lined up. Oh, almost. There we go, and now I'm left with 2 holes perfectly in line with each other. And to make sure that this lines up, we can turn it around, make sure we're on left to right. There we go, flip that around with it. And you can see how that just, and you can see just how perfectly that's lined up. Right, so now let's transfer it over onto my plastic. So what I'm going to do is just put my drawer mechanism on the thing that I want to transfer it over to. And I just want to make a ballpark figure mark, just so I know where it needs to go. So this is where I want it to go. And then we will just mark this out. It doesn't have to be perfect in the slightest because we've got our transfer right here. Once we sort of know where it wants to go, we just try and line that up. Make sure it's square. And draw our marks in. Oh, I moved. Whoops. Yeah, make sure you hold it steady, otherwise it will slip. Oh. And there we go. I've got my 2 marks that I'm about to drill out. So I'll do that now, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. So I've drilled my holes out, and we can see if it fits just by lining it up and giving it a little bit of a push. There's the first one. Make sure this side's lined up, and we can push that through. There we go, absolutely lovely fit. So this drawer is attached absolutely beautifully, but have a look at this. Isn't that awesome? It works absolutely perfectly. So that brings me to the end of the video, and I really hope that this has actually helped someone. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.